from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Thursday, March 9th. So we have the moon in Libra all day. So of course, we're trying to keep things light and fluffy. We are really focused on where it is that we've been living in extremes, all of course, to try and stabilize, to balance. That's the goal of the Libran energy. However, most of the time, we have to dive all the way into the extremes, all the way into the chaos in order for us to actually see where balance and groundedness is needed. We like to keep things light and fluffy in this Libran energy, in our emotions and our thoughts. However, there will be some aspects that really go against the grain of us trying to kind of stay in the shallow end of our thoughts and our emotions. We have 8 different aspects here today. All 8 involve the moon. So we have another moon day on our hands. And we are definitely going to be feeling the seesaw back and forth, the ebb and flow. Keep in mind, we're still in Pisces season, so we have to kind of roll with the waves, so to speak. And we're kind of in an interesting time because, of course, we're coming out of this full moon energy. So we are going to have a little bit of a different revelation, a different perspective, a different understanding, if you will. Some details still very much coming in. And of course, we're still adjusting to Saturn, of course, moving into this Pisces energy. So for those of you that are saying, yeah, some pretty weird energy out there, you bet your bottom dollar there is. We haven't experienced this. We haven't been this far in the human experiment. We have yet to be able to find a safe, stable grounding point in this energy. We're still experimenting. So keep that in the back of your mind. Starting off, the moon goes ahead, makes a positive interaction with Mr. Uranus. This is what's going to trigger an awakening of sorts, an aha moment, an epiphany. This is changing our emotions. This is changing our perspective, our understanding, especially in the realm of where it is that we've been struggling to make some of the changes or resisting the changes that we know that we need to make to routines, to relationships, to money matters. We do get a jolt of energy. This could create a lot of anxiety, a little bit of restlessness in us. It may be very hard to focus, and it can feel very overwhelming, very intense, coursing through our bodies. We want to take action. We just don't know what to do with this energy. The moon will bump into Mercury in not the nicest way, so our heart and our head not on the same page. Now, granted, the moon being in Libran energy, Mercury, of course, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information and communication in this Pisces energy, there's a lot of thought. There's a lot of dreaminess. There's a lot of confusion. And whatever it is that we're uncertain about, that we've been on the fence about, that is going to be amplified even more. Of course, indecision is a major quality of this Libran energy. And Mercury being in Pisces energy, not thinking the best, not thinking clearly. We're just kind of going with the flow, seeing what pops into our mental plane, how that actually makes us feel, and then that moment leaves us. So it's definitely putting an emphasis on where it is that our heart and our head, not in an alignment at all. Of course, we need to see where it is that we're not in alignment, not in balance, in order to make efforts to get in alignment and in balance. That is what this Libran energy is all about. Now, midday, we're going to have the moon in Libra sit across from both Jupiter and Chiron, who, of course, in Aries energy. Libran energy, Aries energy sits across from each other in the zodiac wheel. Jupiter is here to show us where growth is needed, where we need to open up our heart space, open up our mind space, really push ourselves out of our comfort zones to create new opportunities, to boss up, to kind of create this new image, to create a new reality for ourselves. Chiron, of course, the wounded healer. Yes, brings up the fears, the doubts, the insecurities, but also we have the wisdom and the resources within us in order to override that program. What we're going to get with this particular opposition is a reality check on where it is that we need to pull ourselves out of la la land, and that's going to be hard to do. We're in Pisces season. Where it is that we've been thinking about opportunities, thinking about, taking action, creating a new reality, a new path. There is this restlessness, there is this anticipation, this impulse, if you will. And we're finding it very hard right now to kind of pop out of that and pop back into the present moment. There is a very hard energy happening right now preventing us from focusing on this present moment. We're scatterbrained. We're all over the place. And a lot of that is contributed to Pisces season. But even more than that, we are still kind of in this full moon energy. We are still very much in the adjustment period of Saturn moving into Pisces energy. Everything is wish-washy. We're all over the place. We're scatterbrained. And of course, this Libran energy, we are on the seesaw of going from one extreme to the next, constantly trying to find that middle ground and finding it very hard to actually do so. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Saturn, again, who is adjusting to this Pisces energy. This is not the greatest interaction. And what we get here is I'm going to say, a realization of where it is that we're not grounded at all, where it is that we're not really in alignment with what it is that we should be doing, where it is that we're not feeling safe and secure in our emotions, in our physical realm. We are looking at this new chapter, this new life lesson, if you will, the roles and responsibilities that we have to boss up to. And we're a little bit avoidant right now because there's not a whole lot of certainty going on. We don't feel good about the situation that we're in. There is a lack of stability. We are in a water season. Saturn, who wants stability, who wants structure, who wants foundation, is in Pisces energy now, where we have to kind of go with the flow a little bit more. He is not at his best in Pisces energy. Go ahead, take a listen to the astro forecast if you need a refresher on this. But basically, we're a little bit, I'm going to say, pressurized to find stability, to find safety and security, and it's just not coming. We can't focus. The waves are crashing upon us. We're disoriented. We don't know where our time, energy, and attention is needed at this present moment. The moon goes ahead, bumps into Uranus, this time in a more awkward way that provides us with a choice point. The choice point, the crossroads point, isn't really one of action, it's one of realization. So we're a little bit more sensitive because, of course, we're in Pisces season. We have all these energies really just crashing upon us. And we don't know what we can do to stabilize. We don't know what we can do to find this grounding point. And so with the Libran energy, our, I'm going to say, automatic reaction is to go and start looking outside of ourselves for validation, for feedback, for somebody to tell us what to do, for somebody to tell us that it's okay. We're starting to get a little bit scattered in trusting ourselves. And so this Uranian energy usually provides us with a breakthrough in a positive aspect. I would say this particular interaction is creating a lot of emotional confusion, a lot of anxiety, a lot of restlessness, a lot of jitteriness, because we don't know which way to go. We don't know what to think. There's too much coming at us in our inner realm, and it doesn't make sense to us as of yet. So it's almost like we're paralyzed with indecision, if you will. Now, the moon is going to make a harmonious aspect with Mercury. So, like earlier in the day, we didn't have the meshing going on between our heart and our head. This is a positive interaction. So something got triggered, something got activated. We're seeing things in a different light. And there is like this aha moment that is slowly bringing our heart and our head onto the same page. Now, this could be a revelation. This could be a different perspective, a different understanding. Maybe we are finally at the point where we can choose to take a look at things differently from a different perspective. Regardless of what it is, we are starting to make a little bit more sense between the thoughts coming into our head and the emotions that are rising to the surface. The last aspect that we have here today is the moon in Libra interacting with the sun in Pisces. In not the nicest way. The energy isn't flowing as nicely, as gracefully as we would like. There's a little bit of friction here. And so the moon in Libra, typically speaking, is kind of looking back, realizing how it is that we got here, the options, the choices that we've made in order to get here. The sun, of course, shining a bright light on what it is that we need to heal as far as our past pain, trauma experiences go, in order for us to move forward and embody the want, need, and desire to heal that particular chapter, to create a new reality for ourselves, to align with our new vision and our dreams. And what we get left with is this present moment in the here and now, where we're kind of looking back, but we're looking forward. Think of the ocean when I say this. So a wave comes up, we're looking back, we're going down into the valley of the wave, we're looking forward, back and forth, until that water kind of settles down The waves aren't as choppy. And what we find is a good opportunity to take a 360, look around, and to really root ourselves in this present moment in order for us to see what it is that we're moving away from, which is likely the instability, the chaos, the extreme, if you will, and what it is that we want to move into, which is the peacefulness, the harmony, the healing, the cleansing, the dreaminess, all the positive qualities of Pisces season. So it is going to be a little bit of an emotional refinement kind of day, but be very, very easy on yourself, because the negative narratives, the indecision, the anxiety, the anticipation can really do a number, not only on our mental plane and our heart space, but our physical bodies as well.